Ini bukan adegan Hollywood. Sejumlah laporan menyebut pasukan khusus Amerika Serikat melancarkan operasi militer presisi di Caracas, ibu kota Venezuela. Cepat, terukur, tanpa kompromi.
Marico, se prendió el peo en esta mierda, yo.
Menurut klaim yang beredar, serangan menghantam beberapa titik strategis, termasuk fasilitas energi. Helikopter CH-47 Chinook dan AH-64 Apache disebut dikerahkan dengan dukungan pesawat tempur generasi kelima. Pemerintah Amerika Serikat melalui pernyataan Presiden Donald Trump menyebut operasi ini sebagai bagian dari kampanye penegakan hukum dan keamanan.
As everyone knows, the oil business in Venezuela has been a bust, a total bust, for a long period of time. They were pumping almost nothing by comparison to what they could have been pumping and what could have taken place. We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country.
attackers took off with the extraction force, which included law enforcement officers, and began their flight into Venezuela at 100 feet above the water. As they approached Venezuelan shores, the United States began layering different effects provided by Spacecom, Cybercom, and other members of the interagency to create a pathway. Overhead, those forces were protected by aircraft from the United States Marines, the United States Navy, the United States Air Force, and the Air National Guard. The force included F-22s, F-35s, F-18s, EA-18s, E-2s, B-1 bombers, and other support aircraft, as well as numerous remotely piloted drones. As the force began to approach Caracas, the Joint Air Component began dismantling and disabling the air defense systems in Venezuela, employing weapons to ensure the safe passage of the helicopters into the target area. The goal of our air component is, was, and always will be to protect the helicopters and the ground force and get them to the target and get them home. As the force crossed the last point of high terrain where they'd been hiding in the clutter, we assessed that we had maintained totally the element of surprise. As the helicopter force ingressed towards the objective at low level, we arrived at Maduro's compound at 1:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 2:01 a.m. Caracas local time, and the apprehension force descended into Maduro's compound and moved with speed, precision, and discipline towards their objective, and isolated the area to ensure the safety and security of the ground force while apprehending the indicted persons. On arrival into the target area, the helicopters came under fire, and they replied with that fire with overwhelming force in self-defense. One of our aircraft was hit but remained flyable, and as the President said earlier today, all of our aircraft came home, and that aircraft remained flyable during the rest of the mission. As the operation unfolded at the compound, our air and ground intelligence teams provided real-time updates to the ground force, ensuring those forces could safely navigate the complex environment without unnecessary risk. The force remained protected by overhead tactical aviation. Maduro and his wife, both indicted, gave up and were taken into custody by the Department of Justice, assisted by our incredible U.S. military with professionalism and precision, with no loss of U.S. life. After securing the indicted persons, the force began to prep for departure. Helicopters were called in to exfiltrate the extraction force, while fighter aircraft and remotely piloted aircraft provided overhead coverage and suppressive fire. There were multiple self-defense engagements as the force began to withdraw out of Venezuela. The force successfully exfiltrated and returned to their afloat launch bases, and the force was over the water at 3:29 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with indicted persons on board. And both Maduro and his wife were embarked aboard the USS Uejima. In closing,
bring this image to our viewers, and you can hopefully see it as well. This has also just been posted on Truth Social on Donald Trump's timeline. And this is an image that he has simply captured Nicolás Maduro on board the USS Iwo and you can see there the Venezuelan president with glasses on, with head protection on, what looks to be some kind of safety jacket around him. It's not clear whether his hands are fastened together. I think I can see cufflinks or something holding his hands together. A bottle of water in his hands. Quite incredible that one president is posting this image of another country's president.
Namun, pemerintah Venezuela menyebutnya sebagai agresi militer dan pelanggaran kedaulatan. Presiden Nicolás Maduro dan istrinya Cilia Flores dilaporkan oleh sejumlah sumber telah ditangkap dan dibawa ke Amerika Serikat.
Maybe a gray or blue sweatshirt we saw a little bit earlier on the image that the president posted, blindfolded and handcuffed, and it appears maybe he's still blindfolded in a gray sweatshirt, which would likely come off as blue, given the the daylight scenario, the lack of daylight over there. Again, Ambassador Bolton.
Famoso. Por esa gente sabe que la verdad que yo digo.
Sementara itu, Menteri Pertahanan Venezuela, Vladimir Padrino Lopez, muncul melalui pesan video, menyatakan negara dalam kondisi siaga penuh dan menyerukan perlawanan terhadap intervensi asing.
Buenos días, pueblo heroico de Venezuela, soldados y soldadas de la patria, hijos e hijas de Bolívar. La Fuerza Armada Nacional Bolivariana informa al mundo entero que en la madrugada de hoy, 3 de enero, el pueblo venezolano ha sido objeto de la más criminal agresión militar por parte del gobierno de los Estados Unidos de Norteamérica. Hasta el momento, la barbarie de las fuerzas invasoras que han profanado nuestro suelo sagrado en las localidades de Fuerte Tiuna, Caracas, los estados Miranda, Aragua y La Guaira, llegando a impactar con sus misiles y cohetes disparados desde sus helicópteros de combate en urbanismos de población civil, para lo cual estamos ya levantando la información referente a heridos y muertos. Frente a este ataque ruin y cobarde que amenaza la paz y estabilidad de la región, elevamos la más contundente denuncia ante la comunidad internacional y todos los organismos multilaterales para que se condene al gobierno norteamericano por la flagrante violación de la Carta.
Di dalam negeri Venezuela, pendukung pemerintah turun ke jalan. Di luar negeri, ribuan demonstran memadati Times Square, menolak perang dan intervensi dengan satu pesan utama: danai pendidikan dan lapangan kerja, bukan pendudukan militer. Pertanyaannya, kini bukan sekadar siapa yang menang secara militer, melainkan apakah dunia sedang menyaksikan penegakan hukum lintas negara atau bab baru intervensi atas nama stabilitas, berdasarkan analisis militernya. Jika klaim benar, operasi ini menunjukkan model decapitation strike, menetralisir kepemimpinan politik dengan durasi singkat, dominasi udara total, dan ekstraksi cepat. Ini bukan invasi darat penuh, melainkan operasi perubahan rezim berintensitas tinggi. Penggunaan F-22, F-35, platform peperangan elektronik, dan drone menunjukkan upaya melumpuhkan pertahanan udara Venezuela dalam jam pertama. Prinsip klasik shock and paralysis. Ketiadaan perlawanan konvensional tidak berarti konflik berakhir. Risiko terbesar justru perang asimetris, sabotase energi, dan instabilitas regional, terutama di Amerika Latin dan Karibia. Pernyataan soal keterlibatan perusahaan minyak AS memperkuat persepsi bahwa energi adalah variabel strategis utama, bukan sekadar isu hukum atau demokrasi. Jika satu negara dapat mengambil alih negara lain atas dasar klaim legitimasi, maka arsitektur hukum internasional berada dalam tekanan serius. Sejarah tidak pernah netral. Ia hanya mencatat siapa yang punya kekuatan dan siapa yang kehilangan kedaulatan.
United States against